If you had to fight Duke Fishron 5 times in a row without him hitting you a single time with pre-mech gear, how do you think you'd do it? No cheeses, no exploits. I know how I'd do it, and I don't think a single person watching this video would do what I did. It comes down to something I found out last night, a way to get an incredible amount of mobility. You can make pre-mech wings fly as fast as Betsy wings. It let me no-hit Duke Fishron 5 times in a row pre-mech very easily. I mopped the floor with the mech bosses, killed the Daytime Empress of Light. I was moving like a late hard mode character way before I should be able to because of one accessory. An accessory that literally nobody cares about or ever talks about. It's the Panic Necklace. You get this thing at the start of the game from Crimson Hearts. It can also be crafted using a band of star power and a life crystal in a graveyard if you're in a corruption world. If you equip it, whenever you take damage, you get a 7-second speed boost. It's plus 15 miles per hour or 100% movement speed, which is the single largest speed bonus in the game, and more than twice as large as the next highest bonus. You get 4 times more speed from the Panic Necklace than reforging every single accessory you have to quick. It makes you almost as fast as running with boots just by itself, but it doesn't affect your speed with boots, it doesn't affect your speed on mounts, and it requires taking damage, which, you don't want to be taking damage, so it's mostly useful for escaping dangerous situations, and it can be particularly nice during the Brain of Cthulhu and Skeletron boss fights because those bosses inflict slowed. Slowed halves your movement speed, the Panic Necklace doubles your movement speed, so they roughly cancel out. It's like a very low-budget fast clock. After that, everybody stops thinking about this thing. Sure, you can use it on the Wall of Flesh to run fast, but there are tons of ways to run fast horizontally, better ways that don't require taking damage. Once you're in hard mode, you've got wings, and the Panic Necklace doesn't affect wings. At least, that's what everybody, including myself, thought. But the Panic Necklace does affect wings under specific conditions. Every wing flies at a certain horizontal speed. Most of them are between 34 and 38 miles per hour. If you have enough movement speed bonuses to be faster than your wing speed, that speed is used instead of your wing speed. Boots work the same way. That's why sometimes you'll stop the running animation after getting hit with a Panic Necklace. That means, with a couple movement speed bonuses, a swiftness potion, and a food buff, the Panic Necklace will make you move faster when flying. If you throw in a few more, a sunflower, a slice of cake, it makes you move a lot faster when flying. I'm flying at 48 miles per hour here. Duke Fishron and Empress Wings are only 41 horizontally. I'm much faster than those. If we're just a completely deranged gremlin and go all in on a quick build, I'm moving at 58 miles per hour here. You could get over 60 if you fully optimized. Betsy Wings, probably the best pair of wings before the Moonlord, only hover at 61 miles per hour. You're basically going the same speed. The twins can't get anywhere near me. It's like playing with speed hacks. I can literally go through the twins to their other side while they're shooting and run circles around Retinazer's second phase. For comparison, because it's easy to forget, this is how fast you're normally moving with a regular pair of wings during this boss fight. I'm flying 70% faster than this. On top of that, it affects your double jump speed very drastically. A blizzard in a balloon will send you flying when you double jump, and because balloons increase your ascension speed, they'll give you even more speed on your wings. That's important because movement speed will never affect your vertical ascension speed. It's only affecting your horizontal movement. A double jump balloon, specifically the blizzard, is a huge part of this strategy. But let's not get carried away here. Without the Panic Necklace, it's extremely difficult to move faster than your wings. The Panic Necklace by itself puts you at 30 miles per hour. You really need the Panic Necklace to make this strategy work. The Panic Necklace is a 7-second buff that requires taking damage. Taking damage is bad. It's hard mode. Enemies hurt a lot. You don't want to take damage. If you're running into the boss every couple seconds to be faster to dodge their attacks, that doesn't work. But there ain't no rule that says a dog's gotta get hit by the boss it's fighting. Instead, we want to find a way to take a small amount of damage. Even 1 damage can trigger the buff. Spikes are the easiest way. You can use lava, you can use cactus and Don't Starve seeds, you can spawn a statue enemy with a banner, you could even keep a weak enemy like the Eye of Cthulhu spawned in for you to run into repeatedly. But spikes work, so we're going to use spikes. You'll need 68 defense to make sure spikes always do 1 damage to you on master mode. Line the bottom of your arena with them and just touch them every 5 or so seconds. If you're playing mage, you can use these as unlimited mana with magic cuffs as well. Then, get a couple of movement speed bonuses. A medium well-fed buff, a swiftness potion, and sunflowers are very easy to get, and you can always throw on more. A slice of cake is pretty good here. You could go all in on quick if you really want to just zoom around and unlock god tier mobility mobility, you can throw on an Anchor to the Wind. Even with just a few speed buffs, you can turn on a dime, fly away from any boss with ease. It's really effective and super fun because mobility is fun. If we've got speeds as good or better than late hard mode wings, we can easily fight Duke Fishron. Duke Fishron is arguably the third most difficult boss in the game, and he's available at the start of hard mode, but he's not easy to fight with the mobility options you have available at the beginning of hard mode. And the solution was obvious. It was staring us right in the face. Just move faster. The most consistent way to do this is to make a flat line going to the edge of the ocean. In my setups, I used a medium food buff, slice of cake, sunflower, swiftness potion, white balloon, and a Daedalus stormbow with a bunch of damage bonuses. You don't need boots, you run faster than boots. I also used an Ankh shield to negate the bleeding debuff from spikes, and a regeneration potion to make sure I'm not gradually losing HP from taking 1 damage hits constantly. When you spawn Duke Fishron, you run to the other side of your arena, let him do his bubble attack, and then keep him here until he spawns his Sharknadoes. Once he does, run to the other side of your arena and do it again. You can jump and fly around as much as you want in the meantime, just keep looping that basic pattern. Once he hits phase 2, you're going to want to do the same thing. Force him to spawn the Cthulhu Nado at one end of the arena, then run around to the other side so you don't have to deal with it. He'll dash 3 times between attacks, and he always does his bubble attack first after changing to phase 2. So, run to one side of the arena, let him do the bubble attack, fly in the air, and land on the ground during his 3rd dash. You'll see me jump just before his 3rd dash a lot and then stand still. That's because he backs off when making a Cthulhu Nado. Even if it feels like he's right on top of you, he will always back away and give you distance. He shoots a Cthulhu Nado at you, you start flying up, he goes under you, you fall so that the projectile hits you and the Cthulhu Nado gets summoned on that side of the arena, then you run away to the other side of your arena. It's very consistent and very easy to pull off with this level of mobility. In his 3rd phase, you gotta count to 3. It's tough. I genuinely lost 3 attempts in a row on my last fight going for the 5 no-hits in a row because I got distracted and stopped paying attention during this phase. He does 1 dash, then teleports to the other side of you and does 2 dashes. Then he teleports to the other side of you and does 3 dashes. Then the whole thing repeats. Remember, he always does his first dash immediately after the phase transition without teleporting. So the first time he teleports, he'll be doing 2 dashes. You want to fly up in the air just enough to dodge the attack and land on the ground before he teleports and dashes again. It's a little tricky to get used to, and the panic necklace isn't going to help that much here because most of this is vertical movement. You can throw on a frog leg or its upgrades if you're struggling. More ascension speed makes this a lot smoother. So you can do some wild stuff with the panic necklace. This is basically the only way in the game to meaningfully improve the horizontal speed of your wings, and you can get really fast if you commit to it. But is it worth the hassle? With Duke Fishron, it's not as comfortable and you might get hit a few times, but you can fight him in the same way without the panic necklace. The panic necklace just makes it much easier. You can disrespect the hell out of the mechs with it, but it's not like they're incredibly difficult to begin with. You don't need this level of mobility ever, but it's really fun to have. So when does it fall off? I wasn't using quick reforges and maximizing my movement speed for Duke Fishron, but let's say we do. To see how far I could take things, I brought an enraged Plantera to the ocean. Exact same setup, pre-mech with a quick build, and well, I didn't win, but I very nearly did, and that's really impressive. Being able to outspeed an enraged Plantera and actually fight her, not kite her across the world, legitimately keep her in an arena and avoid her attacks is an incredible performance. Okay. Empress of Light? I did the daytime Empress of Light using the exact same setup as Duke Fishron, not even a custom arena built for her, literally just the same spot. I did upgrade to a major food buff for a little more speed, and I had the Tsunami now, but this was easier than fighting her with the options available post-Plantera. If I actually built an arena specifically for her, I don't think it would have taken more than 1 or 2 attempts to kill her. So those are the 2nd and 3rd hardest bosses in the game, and I could fight them without getting hit by them once. What about the Moonlord? Last boss in the game, we take the exact same setup in the exact same arena and throw in the Terra Prisma and Swerving Insignia now that we've killed the Empress. It only took 1 attempt. He hit me 1 time in his entire first phase. I wasn't even trying to no-hit him. Moving this fast is just that good. Remember, this is not some anti-Moonlord arena specifically built for him. I put down some spikes at the ocean, equipped a panic necklace, and reforged my stuff to quick. I'm literally using pre-mech melee armor for the movement speed set bonus and the defense to negate spikes. By all accounts, this should be a terrible setup, but it's better than what's available on tier for dodging these attacks. Once he hit phase 2, it kind of stopped working and I resorted to kiting across the world with the soaring insignia, but okay, if a pre-mech setup is incredible for every boss in the game until the final boss's second phase, that's pretty good. Unironically, quick builds work. The quick reforges are not the most impactful part of the build, it's the other movement speed bonuses, but they do help. They're good. They will give you the mobility to destroy bosses if you're in a situation where you can take advantage of the Panic Necklace's speed buff. All of this has been assuming that you're using wings, but all that you're doing is letting your wings use the movement speed that you'd be getting without them. You can move this fast without wings. In fact, you can go even faster. There's a weird quirk with the sandstorm in a bottle where it doesn't properly spin when you're using wings, which causes it to not benefit from movement speed correctly. This is why we were using the white balloon with the blizzard double jump specifically. If you're not wearing wings, it works how it should, and you zoom across the screen. You can't be using a mount for this either, although you can use the mount mid-jump to carry the momentum. So with a bundle, you get much higher horizontal mobility, but lower vertical mobility, and you can't sustain that mobility for as long. You only have 3 jumps. If we add in a featherfall potion, we can compensate for that lack of vertical mobility. It won't feel as natural as using wings, but functionally you can move in a very similar way. You do ascend slower, and that is noticeable, but you can spend more time airborne and hovering, and due to your incredible movement speed, you're able to maneuver side to side very effectively while floating. That's not that much of a surprise though. Turns out that using the strongest item in the game is actually pretty good. Honestly, I don't even think this was better than the wings on the bosses I was fighting, and given that you kinda need multiple double jumps for this to work well, I don't think it's a better strategy. But it does use fewer accessory slots and allows more airtime, which can be quite helpful. You don't need wings for the Panic Necklace, but it does make wings very fast. If nothing else, playing the game like this is just plain old fun, and strawberry new fun. It might not make bosses faster, and it's not going to be easier than just having a tank build with a ridiculous amount of defense, but mobility builds with the Panic Necklace are way more fun to use than either of those. Like I said, it feels like playing the game with speed hacks. If you try them out, I can guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun. Alright, wrap it up, we're done here.